Picture two people, same age, same income, same city. 10 years from now, one of them has quietly built a small fortune. The other is still starting from zero. They made almost identical choices. Almost. There was one difference, and it had nothing to do with luck, inheritance, or a higher salary. It had to do with time, and a force so mathematically ruthless that Albert Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. That force is compound interest, and the reason most people never truly harness it is not because they don't understand the word. It's because the human brain is physically incapable of intuitively grasping what it actually does. Your brain is good at straight lines. Give it a pattern that grows by the same amount every year, and it tracks perfectly. Add $10 a year for 10 years, and your brain sees $100. Clean, linear, predictable. But compound interest does not grow in a straight line. It grows in a curve that starts almost flat, barely noticeable, then bends upward so sharply it looks like a mistake on the chart. Your brain looks at the early years and shrugs. Your brain looks at the later years and cannot believe what it's seeing. Both reactions are wrong. The math was the same the whole time. Here is the simplest version. You invest $1,000. It earns 10% in a year. You now have $1,100. Next year, that $1,100 earns 10%. You now have $1,210. Not $1,200. $1,210. That extra $10 is the engine. It is interest earning interest. And the longer you leave it alone, the more that engine accelerates. This is what mathematician Jacob Bernoulli was studying in 1683, when he began formally documenting the mathematics of continuous compounding. He noticed something that still surprises people today. The more frequently interest compounds, the faster money grows. Monthly beats annually. Daily beats monthly. Continuously beats all of them. The money never sleeps. Every unit of time, no matter how small, it is working. But here is where it gets genuinely strange. The growth is not evenly distributed across time. Most of the wealth generated by compound interest does not appear in the early years. It appears at the end. Dramatically, almost violently, at the end. Take that same $1,000 at 10% annual return. After 10 years, you have roughly $2,500. After 20 years, $6,700. After 30 years, $17,400. After 40 years, $45,000. Look at those numbers again. In the first 10 years, you gained $1,500. In the last 10 years, from year 30 to year 40, you gained nearly $28,000. The same 10 years, the same 10%, but the output is almost 19 times larger. This is not a trick. This is the math working exactly as designed. The problem is that the human brain cannot feel this. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, whose work on cognitive bias has shaped modern economics, showed that humans are wired for the immediate and the concrete. We feel a $10 purchase. We do not feel the $45 that $10 would have become in 40 years. We simply cannot. The future version of our money has no emotional weight. It is abstract, invisible, easy to spend. This is why financial planner and author William Bernstein argues that the biggest enemy of long-term investing is not market crashes. It is the investor's own behavior. People pull money out too early. They pause contributions during downturns. They restart when markets recover. And every interruption breaks the chain of compounding at the exact moment that patience would have paid off most. Because here is what the numbers actually reveal when you look at them clearly. Compound interest is not really about the interest rate. It is about the time. The rate matters, but the time is everything. Consider two investors. The first starts at 22, invests $5,000 a year for 10 years, then stops completely and never invests another dollar. The second waits until 32, then invests $5,000 a year for the next 30 years without stopping. Assume the same 10% annual return. Who has more money at 62? The first investor. The one who stopped, by a significant margin, because those 10 early years, those 10 years of doing nothing but starting sooner, generated a head start that 30 years of catching up could not overcome. This concept, known as the time value of money, was rigorously formalized by economist Irving Fisher in the early 20th century. Fisher demonstrated mathematically what investors have struggled emotionally to accept ever since. A dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow, not because of inflation, because of what that dollar can become if it is put to work immediately and left alone. So what does this mean for you? It means the most powerful financial move available to an ordinary person is not finding the best stock. It is not timing the market. It is not waiting until you have more money to invest. It is starting now, with whatever you have, and not stopping. The math does not care if your first contribution is $500 or $50. It cares how long that money has to run. A 25-year-old who invests $50 a month consistently for 40 years, at a 7% average annual return, ends up with over $130,000. The total amount they contributed was $24,000. The rest, over $100,000, was created by time, by the engine running quietly in the background while they lived their life. This is also why debt is so dangerous. Compound interest works in reverse, just as ruthlessly as it works in your favor. Credit card debt at 20% annual interest compounds against you with exactly the same mathematical force. Every dollar of debt is a future dollar of wealth you will never build. The same curve that creates fortunes when it works for you destroys them when it works against you. The math is identical, only the direction changes. The accounts available to you matter too. A tax-free savings account, an RRSP, or a first home savings account in Canada all allow compound growth to occur without the drag of annual taxation on your gains. When taxes take a cut of your returns each year, the compounding curve flattens. When growth compounds tax-free, the curve steepens. The account is not just a label, it is a mathematical amplifier. Most people know the word compound interest. They learned it in school. They nodded. And then they spent the next 10 years not thinking about it while the most productive compounding years of their life quietly passed. Because knowing a concept and feeling its weight are two completely different things. And the human brain, wired for the present and blind to exponential curves, defaults to feeling nothing about a force that is either building a fortune or dismantling one on its behalf right now. So here is the reframe. Compound interest is not something that happens to other people with more money and more discipline. It is happening to you already. The only question is which direction it is pointing. Every dollar you carry in high-interest debt is compounding against you. Every dollar sitting in a low-yield savings account is compounding too slowly. Every dollar invested in a diversified, low-cost index fund inside a tax-sheltered account is compounding in your favor, quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. You checked your bank account at the start of this video and saw a number. That number is not the point. The point is what that number becomes if you put it to work today and leave it alone. Not next month. Not when you feel ready. Today. Because the curve has already started. The only variable left is how long you let it run.